Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we are going to be reading chapter 14, text number 22 to 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so welcome everybody. So today we are going to be reading from chapter 14, text number 22 to 25. Okay, let us read the Sanskrit. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakasham cha Pravitram cha Moham eva cha Pandava Na dveshti sampravittani Na nivrittani kanchati Udashina vadashino Gunevyo na vichate Gunavartanta iti eva Yo avanti sasti mendate Samadukha shuka swasta Samalostashma kanchana Tulya priya priyotiras Tulya nidatma samstuti Manapam manayas tulyas Tulyo mithari paksayo Sarvaramba parityagi Gunayita sa uchyate. Okay, word for word translation. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said. Prakasham. Illumination. Cha. And. Pavrittim. Attachment. Cha. And. Moham. Illusion. Evacha, also Pandava, old son of Pandu, Nadveshti, does not hate, Sampravittani, although developed, Nivrittani, not stopping development, Amshati, desires, Udasinavad, as if neutral, Ashina, situated, Gunahi, by the qualities, Yaha, one who, Na, never, Vicharyate, is agitated, Gunaha, the qualities, Vardhante, are acting, Iti eva, knowing thus, Yaha, one who, Avishtasthi, remains, Na, never, Ingate, flickers, Samaha, equal, Dukkha, in distress, Sukha, and happiness, Swastha, being situated in himself, Sama, equally, Loshta, a lump of earth, Asma, stones, Kanchana, gold, tulya, equally disposed, priya, to the dear, apriya, and the undesirable, viraha, steady, tulya, equal, ninda, in defamation, atma samstuti, and praise of himself, mana, in honor, apamanayo, and dishonor, tulya, equal, tulya, equal, mitra, of friends, valley, and enemies, pakashayo, to the parties, sarva, of all, aramba, endeavors, parityagi, renouncer, guna atita, transcendental to the material worlds of nature, saha, he, uchyate, is said to be. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's read the translation and repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and illusion when they are present, or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the morals of nature. Okay, let's read the purport. Arjuna submitted 3 different questions, and the Lord answers them one after another. In these verses, Krishna first indicates that a person transcendently situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. When a living entity stays in this material world, embodied by the material body, it is to be understood that he is under the control of one of the 3 modes of material nature. When he is actually out of the body, then he is out of the clutches of the material modes of nature. But as long as he is not out of the material body, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for self-gratification. But when one transfers the consciousness to Krishna, self-gratification automatically stops. One does not need this material body, and he does not need to accept the dictations of the material body. The qualities of the material modes in the body will act, but the spirit soul, the self, is aloof from such activities. How does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus, transcendentally situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He did not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. The next question concerns the dealings of a transcendentally situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body. But the transcendentally situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either a stone or gold. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness. And he does not hate his so-called enemy. He is equally disposed and sees everything on an equal level because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of temporary upheavals and disturbances. He does not attempt anything for his own sake. He can attempt anything for Krishna, but for his personal self he does not attempt anything. By such behavior, one becomes actually transcendently situated. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Jana-Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Tadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Gurna Sindhu Nilabhadra Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanshna Gaurani Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwapanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpadruvishya Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So, it's been a long time since we did this in the classes in a flow. So I'm just going to recap what chapter 14 is all about right now. Just a few verses, or just a few sentences. So, in the first to 13th text of this chapter, it shows how the soul is being conditioned by the material worlds. Then from 14 to 18, we understand the effects of the conditioning by the modes. It shows the different destinations of people in different modes and different sort of. We can just look at 14 to 18. We will see that it says, from the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops, from the mode of passion, greed develops, and from the mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion. So you can just see that what are the different characteristics that come about by the different modes. And now from text 19 to 27, it shows all about transcending the modes. The person who has transcended the modes is called a Gunatita, a person who has transcended the modes. Now this section, chapter 14, falls under the last 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, which are all about the Jnana Yoga, or the Jnana section. Now Jnana Yoga, it stresses on the discrimination. Discrimination ultimately leads one to appreciate that he is not the body, that Krishna is supreme, and that he should take shelter of Krishna to become free. Thus, Jnana is a path that culminates in Bhakti. So, just to, in this section of 19 to 27, let me just give a small recap of what's happening in all the previous 19, 20, and 21. So, in text 19, it's all about seeing the modes as the doers and the Lord as transcendental. In 20, it is said that one surpasses the modes associated with the body, he becomes free from birth, death, old age, and severe distresses, and enjoys nectar even in the present life, and attains eternal life after the end of his body. And in the last text, Arjuna hears all of this. He hears that I want to transcend the modes. So he asks 3 natural questions. Okay, I want to transcend the modes. So, question number 1. What are the symptoms of a person who is already transcended the modes? What is his behaviors? And what is the process of transcending the modes? These are 3 questions that Arjuna raises. Now, can somebody tell me what is the difference when Arjuna asks, what are the symptoms and what are the behaviors? Is there any difference? What's the difference?
Symptom is not controlled by it. Behavior is controlled by it. Symptom is an effect of the behavior.
Symptom is an effect of the behavior. That's a good idea. But he's trying to see and ask Krishna, okay, not for myself, but how can I see somebody else? somebody else who has transcended the modes, how will I be able to know that this person has transcended the modes? So he's asking, what are the symptoms by which I can see somebody who's transcended the modes, and what are his behaviors? So what's the difference here? You're on the right track.
Action. Behavior by action.
Action. Yes.
What? Then by doing how we see it, how we talk, how we look the things.
Yeah. So what can you see? Can you see behaviors or can you see symptoms? You can see behavior. Yeah. So your point was that the symptoms and behaviors are linked. Prabhupada said it's the behaviors means the external. So this is the difference. The behaviors represent how can you see somebody's acharan. Like physically you can see that person. But the symptoms refers to the internal disposition of the person. Okay? Just like we have a materialist and we have a spiritualist. They might appear to be eating. The activity eating is the same. But is it really the same? Why is it not the same?
Visiting Prasada.
By visiting Prasada, right? So, the internal disposition is greatly affecting the behavior. Okay? Just like a doctor can diagnose the disease of a patient based on the behavior and external symptoms. I don't have another word for it, but just based on the behavior, the doctor can already see what is wrong with that patient, right? So we can detect a gunadita or a self-realized soul through their external conduct and their internal disposition. Two things, yeah? So, how many of you remember when we did the basics of Bhagavad Gita course, and especially the body or the soul session, we said that there is three things. There is two material bodies and the soul. So, what is the first material body? Gross body. Then subtle body. And then the soul. Okay. Now, can you see, what can you see of me? Can you see my soul? Can you see my subtle body? So what can you see? You can only see the gross body. So there is a distinction. You cannot see the subtle body, nor you can see the soul. The only thing you can see is the gross body. So if I am, say, addicted to smoking, what will that inform you about me? What would your judgment be about me? Just based on the external thing that you see, right? Or let me give another example. Say that I'm eating like big food. What would you think?
Eating a lot.
Like big thali of food. Probably already have run away. So, but then if I say that is prasadam, then will that change? It will change, right? So you do not know what is going internally in my head when I'm doing something, but from an external point you have made some sort of judgment, right? So because we cannot see the internal disposition, we are only reliant on the external conduct. So that is why Arjuna asked, I want to know what the internal process is, but I also want to know what their external conduct is like. Okay? So this is why Krishna then explains in text 23, 24 and 25 about the behaviors of a person who is a Gunadin, and text number 22 describes the internal disposition of a person who is transcended the modes. Okay? Because we are not able to see the subtle body. We are not able to see the internal workings of somebody's mind. We can only see their behaviors. So based on the behaviors, we can make some idea of what is the internal processes in the mind. So based on what somebody does, it gives a good indication of what the mental state of the person is. Right? So, Since the subtle body is invisible to the naked eye, Krishna encourages us to see that our mind and intelligence and false ego is still material and it is not us. Because of this thing that we only see the gross body, so we only relate that the gross body is us. We do not relate that the subtle body is still a body. It's not actually us. We think that our thinking, our intelligence, our ego, they are all us. But actually it is not. Yeah? You need to raise above that. But because we cannot see the subtle body, we mistake the subtle body to be the soul because both of them are located where? Within the gross body. Yeah? Within the gross body. So we make this mistake that we think that our thoughts, we think that our intelligence, our plans and our actions and our desires, they're all actually Tudiya. But that is not Tudiya. Okay? We are not the subtle body, but we are the soul which is still embodied within the subtle body, and the subtle body is material. Okay? So Krishna therefore highlights external behaviors to show us the internal disposition, and that is the key features of the Gunapitas. So now in this purport, Prabhupada has pointed out very many points that I want to discuss, and I'll discuss that based on the phrases that Prabhupada uses. The first phrase that Prabhupada uses is that Krishna first indicates that a person transcendently situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. And what does this mean? This shows, what does envy show? Envy shows that they are actually, there's negative feelings towards somebody. That's when envy comes about. And hankering happens when we have positive feelings towards something. That I want something. So that one thing is like an attachment. And envy is like, I don't want to be with this person, or I don't like this person, and something. Envy is a negative thinking. So what is Krishna saying here? The Krishna says that a person who is transcendently situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. So a Gunatita person is neither attached or detached to doing or craving anything. So he has no envy, meaning he has no negative thinking, and he does not have hankering. He doesn't have any positive attachment to something. But because we are embodied living beings, what do we have to do? We just have to tolerate the workings of these three modes. These three modes will keep on coming and keep on going. But we have to tolerate them. Okay? Second, by tolerating them, one starts becoming neutral and steady. So Gunatita is neutral to all the upheavals in life, for he knows the temporary nature of them. And he is steady in his bhakti because no other activity becomes more dear to him. For example, you go to the sea and there are many rivers that flow into the sea. There's constant flow of the river water into the sea water. So the sea has to be a lot of agitation because there's constant flow of the river into it. Yet the sea is very calm. It doesn't get agitated. So similarly, the three modes will keep on acting upon us. They'll keep on trying and putting their influence on us. Just like the rivers, they keep on continuously bringing the inflow. But as a Gunatit person, if we want to achieve that stage, we have to tolerate those agitations. Okay? Another thing, just as people, or say breadwinners of the family, they go and they have to go to work. Now they are going to go to work whether it is sunny, whether it is rainy, whether there is thunderstorms, whether there is snow. External weather changes do not affect a person's determination to go and earn money. Is that true? Yes or no? Just as weather changes do not break the determination of a person who needs to go and work to earn the money to sustain the family. Similarly, a person who wants to transcend the modes has to continue their bhakti processes, whether or not they like it. How many of you chant here? How many of you chant? Now, when you are chanting, have you had days where it's going really well and you want to continue chanting? Have you had days? Yes, come. Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. So he's only the Gunatit person.
Feel every day to chant.
Yes. But then there are also some days where you feel like, oh my god, it's already so late, I've got so many rounds left to do. I don't want to do it. Have you also felt those days? You have felt those days. And then some days you're just not at all interested in chanting. No matter how much you do, you'll be stuck on one round for 20 minutes. Have you had also those type of days? So these are the different modes acting upon you at that moment. But what is your duty? To continue chanting. Just like the different weathers try to stop you from doing your duty of going to work, these different modes will affect your mental state. Yeah, these these modes will try and push you off the track, as to say, but you have to be very strict and wanting to continue your bhakti. That is how you will be able to transcend the modes. Okay, even in chanting, sometimes you will see that our thoughts are running all over the place. Yeah, but what do? Sometimes your thoughts are in the mode of goodness, sometimes your thoughts are in the mode of passion, and sometimes your thoughts are even in the mode of ignorance. But then what do? Do you dwell on the thoughts? Then what do? When you're chanting and your mind wavers, then what do?
I just come to take the move to Krishna and that's it.
Remember once again.
Is
And
it-
realize
Yeah, so you're bringing your mind back to where?
to Bhagavan.
To Bhagwan. So you see, that is what we need.
Srila Prabhupada saying chant loudly.
You chant loudly. So that way, it's like a complete circuit. Your whatever you're speaking goes back into the ear, so it's like a complete circuit, and that keeps your mind focused. It keeps your mind steady. It doesn't get wavered because of the different types of thoughts created by the three different modes. Yeah. So that is what we should do. A Gunatit person, if we aim to become a Gunatit person, then we need to be neutral and steady. And if we see somebody who's chanting very sincerely, who's keeping himself very steady, he's very neutral, these are all symptoms that we can see that if a person is very calm, he just keeps on doing his duty because he ought to do it, and he's keeping Krishna in the center, we should take shelter of such people because these are the Gunatitas. They are self-realized souls. Next, when a person is neutral, it means that he has no duality. So in the purport, there are many examples given. They say that he is neutral whether there is a gold, stone, or a lump of earth. He is neutral whether in happiness or distress. He is neutral in the desirable objects and the undesirable objects. He is neutral in praise or blame. He is neutral in honor and dishonor. And he is neutral in friend and enemy. Now, all these things that I've said, these affect different gradations on different bodies. So there's something that affects the gross body, there's something that affects at the mind level, something that affects on the ego level. Okay? So you tell me that seeing a gold, stone, or lump of earth, that is on what level? Is it on the gross level? Is it on the mind level? Or is it at the ego level? No, but it's gross, right? The matter is gross. You're seeing everything as equal. The example here is of a gross matter. Happiness and distress. Mind. Desirable or undesirable. Praise or blame. Ego. Then honor or dishonor. Ego. And friend or enemy.
mind. So you see how many of these examples Krishna has given that are dealing with the subtle body. Yeah. Sometimes we think that, oh, this is my friend or this is my enemy. But actually the soul has got no friend, no enemy. It is the mind that is creating those sort of dualities based on me thinking that this is my friend, this is my enemy. But the soul has got no enemy. The soul has got no friend either. Yeah. So the third point that I want to bring out here is that in the purpose, Prabhupada says that one does not need this material body. So the soul is actually independent from the material body. Does the soul need food? Does it need water? Does it need air? Does it need any of the things that that the gross body goes with? No. What is the one thing that it needs? What is the one thing that the soul needs? Love. Love. Everyone wants to be loved and be loved. Even George Harrison said that all you need is love. Love is expressed through service, yes. But the one thing that we're looking for is love. And what type of love are we looking for? We're looking for constant love and unconditional love. We are looking for constant and unconditional love. Now, the three modes of material nature, is it a material or is it spiritual? Material. So can it act on the soul? Can it truly act on the soul? Matter can only act on matter. So it is because of the false ego that the soul is trapped thinking that this body is himself. And therefore the three modes get the power to act on that person. Okay? So, what Prabhupada is trying to say is that the soul actually doesn't need the material body. It is independent. It has already got its own characteristic of Sat Chit Ananda and it belongs in the spiritual world. It is just entrapped here, but it doesn't need any of these things here. Okay? It doesn't need any of the things here. It's just thinking that it needs because of the false ego. Okay? So once you understand that actually we don't need this material body, then you get to the level that Prabhupada says here, that then you get to the stage that the self is actually aloof from material activities. The soul remaining aloof from material activities means that he doesn't have desire for sense gratification. Now the soul has material desires. So we said that the soul desires, then who sanctions it? Who sanctions the desires? Paramatma. And then after Paramatma has sanctioned it, who provides it? Who acts? Who arranges it? Prakriti. But this is when the soul has material desires. Then the super soul sanctions those material desires, and the material nature will create circumstances in which the soul will fulfill their material desires. But then what is the result of that? Then the soul gets bonded. Now what happens if the soul has spiritual desires? So say soul has spiritual desires. Super soul, what does it do? It sanctions it. Then what does material nature do?
It cannot do anything.
No, it can.
It can.
It can. It will still provide and fulfill the spiritual desire. But although it looks material, it is actually spiritual. Because the desire was what? The desire was spiritual. That is why it is said that everything material can be spiritualized. Everything material can be spiritualized. All matter is also spiritual if acted upon with a higher consciousness. Yeah. So, for example, you might make a statue and keep it outside, or you make a Archa Vigraha of Bhagwan. That is actually spiritualized because through the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, we are spiritualizing the material elements that made the statue, while another statue outside in a museum is still material. But here we call it the Murti or Archa Vigraha form because it is spiritual. Although made of material elements, it is spiritualized. Okay? Krishna is here himself and he is interacting with us. Although to the untrained eye, to the eye that is still not, what is the word they say? That it is not yet tainted with love. It looks as if it is material. But a person whose eyes are tainted with love will look at the same Murti and will experience Bhagwan to be there. There are many stories in our culture, in our Shastra, that shows of how Krishna, in his deity form, has reciprocated with devotees. These are stories of Shakshi Gopal, even the stories of Prabhupada talking to the deities and talking with the deities, and the deities responding to him. So it is not that the murti forms are material. Yes, they have been spiritualized by the Prana Pratishtha ceremony. Next, he does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. This is very interesting. So, we understand one point that he does not desire to enjoy the body, meaning that he doesn't have any sense gratification. But why does he say that he does not desire to get out of it? Why does a person not desire to get out of this material body?
He's already liberated.
No, he don't think he's a proprietor.
Yeah,
Proprietor is Krishna.
yeah.
So he's not. He don't think I'm proprietor to enjoy. I don't think to not enjoy.
Yeah, it's the material body, it's a gift from Krishna. It is what we need to develop that relationship with Krishna. Without the body, how are we going to even develop our relationship with Krishna? We are not going to be able to be active in the material world without a body. So, a person thinks that the body that they've got is actually a gift by Krishna, and we can utilize this gift to go closer to Krishna. Just like Krishna explains to Uddhava in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the human body is like a perfectly crafted vessel that enables one to go back to Krishna. As long there are many more the things in that, but the human body is a perfect vehicle or vessel to take us from this material world to the spiritual world. Okay? And finally, it says that a person who is transcendently situated, that person is automatically freed. So now let us think of this diagram where on one end you have a devotee and on the other hand you have Krishna. Now a devotee is going to Krishna via the bhakti yoga process. But then what does the three modes of material nature try to do? He tries to push the devotee away from Krishna. So Maya tries to push the devotee instead of going towards Krishna, trying to push the devotee away. Right? But if the devotee is making steady progress towards Krishna, we can safely say that the devotee is getting stronger than the three modes. Yeah, because this force is not as strong as the force that is pushing it towards Krishna. So a person who is a gunatita or a person who is actually transcendental to the three modes, the best example is to see if that person is progressing in his bhakti yoga. Yeah, if somebody is progressing in their bhakti, that means that slowly by slowly they are overpowering the three modes and they're transcending the three modes in that definition. So this is what Krishna explains in these four verses from 22 to 25. He has answered two of Arjuna's questions. Now, what are the symptoms and what are the behaviors of a gunatita or a person who has transcended the modes? Now, the process of how to transcend the modes is given in the next verse, and that we will see tomorrow. Any questions? Yes.
Prabhuji, yesterday you had mentioned something very interesting. I don't know if it's related or not. कि आपने जो बोला था कि जो आदमी जो जीव खुद को आत्मा से पहचानता है कि खुद आत्मा है वो मुक्ति से भी मुक्त हो गया. Those words are intense, but I don't know if I understood that correctly. वो मुक्ति से भी मुक्त हो गया क्योंकि वो अभी बॉडी में भी मुक्त है.
Yeah, even you don't need even mukti, liberation, like four types of mukti.
Yes,
He
yes.
don't want that. That you are mukti se mukta ho gaya.
मुक्ति से भी मुक्त हो गया.
Okay, he is situated in his real identity.
तो उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि जैसे
वो इधर रहे उधर जाए कहीं जाए
बॉडी में है नहीं है, हैप्पी है नहीं है, it doesn't bother you.
because he is working for Krishna.
Yeah, even if the Srila Bilba Mangal Thakur, he says in one of his
Yeah,
poems,
Mukti Muktanjali.
Huh.
That word is there. The Mukti is always ready to
offer the service to me.
to the devotee.
But he doesn't want it.
He is not interested.
Yeah.
Right.
And another point, the chanting is never influenced by the three modes of material nature. Chanting is beyond the three modes of material nature. It only influenced by the offenses. When somebody has no interest in chanting, means there is offense. If somebody is chanting nicely, there is no offense. So it depends on offenses. Because chanting the name of Krishna and Krishna is non-different. In Prabhupada even giving the definition of the chanting. So he says it is three modes, beyond three modes of material. Chanting never influenced by the three modes of material.
So Prabhuji, what are the common offenses? What are the things to be very careful of? When you say offenses,
There is 10 offenses are there.
okay.
So if you are hurting the devotee, yeah, so there is 10 offenses are there. The chanting only hindrance by the offenses, not the
Switch it off now.
So this chanting is basically transcendental.
yeah.
It cannot be